Uh, Pedro from A&P-REACTS. I'm here today with Tomi Joutsen from Amorphis. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. It's a little bit rainy here in Finland, and we are still waiting the summer to come. But so far, so good.
Well, we had snow a couple of days ago in Canada, so don't feel too bad.
Is it typical thing to have it there?
Not at all. Not at all. Not to have like a huge snowstorm in the middle of May. It's not normal at all. So and we had it for like 2 or 3 days straight.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
It's crazy. I already had changed the tires to my summer tires, and then suddenly you have a snowstorm, and I'm like, okay, like this is all we need. I mean, like the world is not crazy enough. Now we need winter storms in the middle of May.
Tell me about it. Which city are you living, by the way?
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay, yeah, all right.
The first question I want to ask you is not related to Amorphis at all. It's related to the latest album that you've been involved with, that you've released with Sinisthra. It was a 15-year break. What drove the inspiration behind getting back together and releasing a new record?
I think we just had to release the album. I think that was the motivation to release it, because it was such a long story. It took so many years, and I don't know, everyone was really frustrated, and I think that was the reason why we get so lazy. And I think Marco, the main composer, I think he was really frustrated because it was just laying there, the ready album. But I'm really happy that it's now finally out, and I read some reviews, and the reviews been really positive, which is kind of I'm a little bit surprised of that, because I didn't know is this a strong album or not, because we recorded it so many years ago, and I kind of already forgot the whole album. But now when I'm listening, it's not that bad. But I think it's not the best album in the world, to be honest. But still, I'm proud of it, and I'm really happy that we finally got it out. And I'm happy if some people love it, because we really put lots of time and effort for the album. But I'm kind of confused with the whole album, to be honest.
Yeah, you're mentioning it was recorded before, so it's not like you guys entered the studio last year or something like that. Like you've been working on this, entered the studio, recorded, now release it. You already had this in your back pocket for a very long period of time.
Yeah, and when you have to do things by yourself, there is, so much time you can do, so much. It's really hard to decide when the album is ready. It's easier if you have a producer and there's some guy saying, okay, stop it, this is the album. But when you are doing things by yourself, you are always thinking that should we put some layers here or there, or how about the bass drum sound, or should we put more keyboards here? And it's stupid thing to do. It's really difficult to make a decision that this is the album and now it's ready. And I think this is really typical when you are doing things by yourself in a band, and you start almost hate the whole album because of the frustration that it brings. But as I said, I'm really happy that it's now out and people can listen to it.
Well, when the album got released, and you listened to it again, did it reconnect with you, or some of the songs feel a little bit strange since it's been such a long period of time since it was recorded up until now?
Yeah, I can listen to the album almost like a fan, because there are some songs that I didn't remember at all. I was quite surprised when I was listening to the final mix first time. We haven't played together since years, and we're supposed to have one show. Was it this weekend? Yeah, I think it was on Friday. We're supposed to play here in Lohja, but of course, of this Corona thing, it was cancelled, and we haven't played together. We are still good friends, and there's no bad chemistry inside the band. But of course, I've been so busy with Amorphis, and other guys have some families and day jobs and stuff like this. So we kind of forgot the whole band. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Are we getting more active? I don't know. Let's see.
Well, one of my favorite songs on the album, I have to ask you this, it's Closely Guarded Distance. When I heard that song, your voice on that track gave me goosebumps.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and
Nice, man.
you're not very active on Facebook. So what happened was when I heard that track for the first time, I posted the video link on Facebook, and I said that you were my metal men crush. And anybody out there who knows Tomi, let him know that I'm looking for him. I need to chat with him because that song absolutely gave me goosebumps. And then Thomas from Wolfheart replied back to me with a broken heart because he thought he was my man crush. So we
Oh God.
and so we had a funny exchange. So going into that song, Closely Guarded Distance, how did you approach that song vocally? Because there's that bridge there towards the middle end where it's pretty much just your voice, and it's all about the emotion that your voice transmits to the song.
Well, as said, it's recorded many years ago, so I don't really remember how I was feeling when I recorded that. But we recorded all the vocals here in Lohja in a small studio, and I was just trying to concentrate that we can finally have some final vocals, because we did some demos before we started to record the whole album, and I just wanted to be kind of fast with the vocals, and I was trying to concentrate and find the right emotions. And I don't know, I think the songs are really familiar for me because we have played them many years, and we have talked about the songs together. And Erkki, who is doing the lyrics, we are always talking about the lyrics with him, what he's trying to bring up with the lyrics. And of course we have this really kind of sadness in our music, and that's a feeling that it's really easy to find when I'm doing my stuff in studio. Maybe it's because we are from Finland, and we really like to be isolated and sad all the time, so maybe it's somehow really natural feeling for us here in Finland.
It's part of
Typical
your
for a man.
yeah, it's part of your DNA.
Maybe.
And going from a sad moment, perhaps one of the bands that transmits a lot of sadness, Hallatar. Will there be another record in the future for Hallatar?
I don't know. I think Juha, the main composer, I think he would like to do something with Hallatar in the future. And I was pretty sure that we already used all the Alea lyrics, but I heard that there might be some extra lyrics somewhere. So we might have some material for the lyrics also. And I think overall it was really fun to work with Hallatar, even though the topic was really sad and you know, but all the guys who was recording the album, they were really down to earth, and we had great chemistry, and it was, in a way, it was really fun to work with those guys. So I would like to do something, but I don't know how active Swallow the Sun and Amorphis will be in the near future. So of course they are the main thing. But on the other hand, Juha is really creative guy. He's composing stuff all the time. So maybe he's already composed the whole album. I don't know.
Well, with his whole coronavirus thing going on, I mean, there's a little bit of extra time on everybody's schedule.
Yeah, but not for me. I had to go back on my day job because of this corona thing. Everything is canceled. So I'm working now, which is great, you know. It's just something you have to do. But let's see. I think Juha is also quite busy. He lives in the countryside, and he has lots of animals and stuff. So I think, of course, he has lots of spare time, but still he's working from the morning till evening, I think, with the animals.
And moving on to Amorphis, I have to ask you about Queen of Time. To me, that was the best album released in 2018.
Oh, really?
I no, hands down. There was no other album even close to as good as Queen of Time in 2018. I mean, others tried, but nobody succeeded, as far as I'm concerned. Was that a challenging record to create?
Yes and no. of course it took lots of time and lots of work, but I think the guys, they've been in a band like 30 years now, so they really know what they are doing, and we don't have to be nervous when we go to the studio. We kind of trust that we always bring something quality music, so to speak. But of course, the recording the album, it takes lots of days and lots of energy. So in that way, it's really hard always. But with this album, we worked with Jens Bogren from Sweden, and this was the second album with him. So we really knew his style and really trusted him as a producer. So it helps a lot when you go to the studio. You don't have to be that nervous. And it's a horrible feeling when you go to the studio and you don't know what happens, or you don't know the people you have to work with. So with this album, everything was already familiar in a way. So it wasn't that stressful, so to speak.
Is there anything you do to prepare vocally for an album like that before you even enter the studio, or you're a seasoned veteran, you know exactly what you need to do once you get in there?
Well, I've been working with a Finnish vocal producer, and we worked with him like 7 days or something like this with its pre-production for the vocals, and I think everything was quite ready when we went to Sweden to record the album. And so of course there's always a chance that something interesting happens when you are doing final recordings. There might be some crazy ideas and you want to try something and that brings something totally new feeling or idea for the song. And it's good to be open-minded. It's really bad if you are like totally stuck with the original ideas. I think there always have to be some kind of chance to find something interesting or new magic in studio. But on the other hand, it's just work in a way. We woke up like 8 o'clock in the morning and we started to record stuff in 9 or 10, and then we worked like 8 hours and then we stopped. So in that way, it feels kind of boring. But for me, it's a great way to work, because then I can concentrate like 8 hours, and then I know that I can rest the evening or doing something else, kind of try to forget the studio atmosphere and try to do something that makes me feel relaxed, like going to gym or take a walk or watching Netflix or play guitar or something like this. I think it's great to try to get your emotions rid of the recording process.
Was there a specific song on that record that gave you a little bit of an extra challenge?
Well, I think for me as a singer, my vocal, I'm not that great singer if you have lots of high notes, and we have some high parts in our songs, and the high parts are always the biggest challenge for me. I'm always struggling with the high notes, and one thing I don't like to be in the studio, you really have to push everything in the studio, and when you finally can make something really special and you are really satisfied with the results, and after that you realize you have to do this on stage also, that's something that you really hate, and but that's the thing when you go to the studio. Of course you're trying to push forward everything and you're trying to give your very best, but on the other hand you have to remember that you have to do this in front of 40,000 people, which is horrible.
It's nerve-wracking. One of the outstanding tracks of the album, at least to me, is Among Stars. At what point did you guys decide to bring a neck in for that track?
Uh, can you repeat the question? I didn't really.
Yeah, Among Stars. It's one of
Yeah.
my favorite songs on the track on
Yeah.
the album. At what point did you guys decide to bring in a neck for the recording of that track to add her vocals into that song?
I think when we went to studio, I had some ideas for the song. I mean, the vocal lines and everything. It was kind of ready, but the producer Jens, he wanted to change everything, and we forgot everything like the vocal lines and stuff like this. And the new idea of the song was totally different, and the new idea totally needed something extra. And we wanted to have female vocals for the new idea. And of course, Anneke was kind of natural option because we knew her beforehand, and she's such a great character and a talented singer. So I think she was the first and the only idea for female vocals for that song.
I'm sure you guys are delighted with the final result because that song is just outstanding.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's really catchy and beautiful. But the only thing is with that song, we cannot play it live because Anneke is not traveling with us all the time. But it's a great song, and I was really happy that we could play it a couple of times on stage, and it was fantastic. People really loved the song.
Yeah, I saw you guys last year twice. The first tour was with Dark Tranquility, and on that tour, obviously, you guys didn't play that track. But then on the second tour with Delane, she was also on the bill, so she was able to come on stage and perform that song, and I think was one of the crowd favorites because it's people realize that they're not going to be able to get to see that song live all the time.
Yeah.
So it works really well.
Yeah, and I'm really proud that we are doing it like that. It would be stupid just to have like a backing track.
Yeah,
and playing that song. It's really nice that we have some kind of unique song, and for the people who really can see live that song, it's something special. And I really hope that it's going to happen again in the future. But I don't know. She's really busy with his own stuff, and but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You guys played two different styles of sets since Queen of Time came out. I mean, you guys have played your regular tour where you mix a little bit of everything that Amorphis has done over their history, and then you also did some shows where you just played the whole Queen of Time from beginning all the way to the end. Looking at both live sets, which one offers you a bigger challenge?
I really like to play the whole album because it's of course I love the album, and it's great to play it. There is no weak songs, if you ask me. So it's a good compilation, and it's instead of just playing songs from here and there, sometimes it's really boring because we have played those songs so many times. And when we played the whole album, it's a great challenge, and it's something new, and it's great to play those songs that we haven't played that many times. So it really puts you in a situation you have to concentrate more, and in that way you got more from the show by yourself also. So I prefer that, playing special shows. It's more interesting for the fans, and it's more interesting for the band also.
Yeah, you have also some anniversary shows coming up. Those had to be rescheduled for later on in the year.
Yeah.
Is that kind of a show then something that you really get excited about because it's completely, like you said, completely out of the norm, completely out of the regular scope of tour life, playing those very special sets?
Yeah, it's a nice way to look back and try to find interesting songs we haven't played for years, and because sometimes you totally forget that we have a just long history, and some of the guys in the band, they don't like the first album, for example, but I really love it, and it's really nice to pick some new songs from the Carrianisms album. And of course, it takes lots of time to rehearse all the old songs or all the new songs. We have to work a lot to make a great set list, or I mean for these special songs we have to do 3 different great set lists, which is a horrible challenge, but it's really nice because you might find something interesting, and you might find something that even stuck in your regular set list. You just realize that, okay, this is a fantastic song. Why we haven't played this for years, and we can take it for our regular set list also.
You mentioned the history of the band. What, in your opinion, makes Amorphis such a successful band and been able to been around for such a long period of time?
I don't know, always that successful band. Of course, we've been in the business 30 years, and we have played lots of shows around the world, but we are not playing in stadiums or in arenas. So, but still, I think we are kind of underground band in a way, which is great. And I think the reason why we are still in business is that we just love playing music, and we love music itself. And that's the great fuel if you are touring a lot. And maybe one reason is that we have a great management at the moment. So when we are playing, we can get our salary from that, and we don't have to have any day jobs. Of course, now because of this Corona thing, we have to work something else than music also. But I think everyone is doing this seriously and trying to have a good time at the same time, which is also really important. We are not arguing or fighting when we are touring, and we're trying to respect each other as human beings, and that helps a lot when you are having a long tour, for example, in States.
It's funny what you said about the way you define success when I said that the band is successful, because to me you guys are successful. I mean, you're one of my favorite bands. You're one of my favorite vocalists. So to me, the way I look at Amorphis, I see the body of work that you guys have done over the years, how loyal the fans have been to the band over the years. Both times that I saw you guys in Toronto last year, sold out shows. So maybe perhaps the definition of success is different, yours from mine. But I think you guys have achieved something that not many bands are able to achieve. So that's definitely something that we can say great about Amorphis, is that they've done something that a lot of bands would love to be able to even reach.
Yeah, that's true, and I really respect and yeah, it's not that easy to make your living playing metal, you know. that's really difficult, and of course we have succeed in that way. And in Finland we play big shows also, but somehow you think that if you have like a big success, you have to play arenas or like football stadiums and stuff like that. We have toured with Nightwish, and we have toured with different really big bands, and that feels weird. And I think that's something that I'm not even trying to achieve in a way. I'm really satisfied with the results we are, or the level where we are now as a band, because if you play like stadiums every day, it makes a great pressure for yourself. You have to be the big star every night. You know, like 15,000 people coming there. It must be horrible to be the huge rock star every night. So it's easier to have it's easier to keep your feet on the ground when you're not that big band.
Yeah, maybe for your personality, from what I see from where you post on Instagram and social media, maybe for your personality, you prefer to play those smaller venues, smaller gigs, so you can go out, get an espresso, maybe get your shoes polished. go for some sightseeing and still be able to be a rock star without having that rock star aura surrounding you.
Yeah, I really love traveling with my friends, with my band friends, and it's a great way of life. And I was talking with Tuomas from Nightwish, and he said that he cannot go sightseeing, or if he would like to go to see the museum, it's almost impossible, because when he walks out from the stadium, everyone is coming to him and wants to have like a photo or autograph or something like this. For us, it's really easy. We just walk around and just enjoying our time, and that's great, you know. That's when you go to the new places, it's really boring just to hang around in a bus or in a backstage. It's really nice to go out and have a walk, or have a cup of coffee somewhere, and trying to enjoy the life and forget the tour pressures. And this is perfect for me.
From all the albums that you've worked on, if you had to pick one that stands above all others, which record has a very special place in your heart?
You mean Amorphis albums?
Yeah. No, in general, in all the albums that you've worked with from all the bands.
That's a tough one. I think the first album I did with Amorphis, that's something I will always remember, because it was the first time. And I was working with Marko Hietala. He produced all the vocals. And I remember that he was like a mentor for me in a way. And I trusted him, and it was really fun to work with him. He gave me lots of good advices, and he was really creative and fast and a great musician. And it was a nice experience, because when I entered the studio, I didn't know what's going to happen. I had some rough ideas only, and Marko really did lots of vocal lines and harmonies and stuff like that. So it was kind of a school of rock, or studio school for me as a singer. And I'm really thankful for Marko for that. And he's such a great character and a great singer.
Now that we are in this situation where you can't hit the road, I mean, Amorphis already had to cancel their North American tour that was coming up at the end of the summer. Your anniversary shows got postponed into later in the year. Besides going to the gym, what are you doing to stay a little bit sane and keep your mind free? I know you're big into riding bikes, so are you riding your bike?
Not yet. I had to wait like a week or something. It's not. I've done some things for my bike, and it's not ready yet. But looking forward, and of course I have to wait that the weather is better because it's raining now. But I'm just trying to be active, just trying to do something instead of just laying on the couch and thinking about this whole situation. Just simple things, you know. I'm trying to live day by day, try not to think too much the future. I just have to trust that what I'm doing, it helps me to get going. And one thing that I miss is rehearsing with the guys. I don't know how's my voice at the moment. I haven't been singing for months, so I don't know how it's gonna be when we start to rehearse. But the situation is what it is, you know, and I'm just trying to be cool and calm in a way. Of course, I'm trying to be a little bit careful also, but on the other hand, life must go on, and I'm just trying to do my thing, just trying to do a normal person.
I want to go back to the bike thing, because I can imagine you riding down the highway on your bike, you know, maybe the hair not flowing because you're wearing a helmet, but, you know, enjoying the moment, enjoying the bike. Is that bike a big part of your life? Is that a big part of what you do outside of the band?
No, it's not that big. I have the bike only like 5 years or something like this, so I'm not like typical biker guy. But I really love the freedom, and I liked how the bikes look, and there's something mystic with the whole biker culture. I'm not into that criminal side, or I'm not like this. What is this TV series? Sons of Anarchy. Yeah. I'm more like an old school guy. I like the hippie style. I like the hippies and
You're more easy rider.
yeah, the easy rider thing is for me. I'm not blasting that much when I'm riding the bike. I just love the feeling when you are riding the bike and you are totally forgetting everything around you, all the stress and all the bad things. You're just trying to find a great lines and maybe listening some cool music and enjoying the summer. And it's nice, but on the other hand, it's really dangerous, and you have to concentrate all the time.
Last question for you. What is the biggest misconception that people have about Tomi Joutsen? When fans meet you, or when you meet somebody from a band that you guys haven't met each other before, what do you feel people think about you or think they know about you that's really not who you are?
Well, some people think that I'm a tall guy, and I am not. I'm really short. I'm like shorter than the average guys in Finland. So, but I think it's typical for the singers. For example, Dio, he was really short guy, and also Danzig, he's really short. And I think the guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers, Anthony Kiedis, he's also quite a short guy. But it's easy to look big in promo shots. You just have to put something under your feet and you look taller. And maybe on stage you also might look like a huge guy or taller guy, but I'm quite small guy. And sometimes when you go, for example, in Russia, where people are really honest, and I remember some moments when people are, "Oh, you are so short. Why are you so small, guy?" That's really fun.
Like it's your fault. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. I'm sorry.
Like you could have done something better. Like that's hilarious. At least you take it with a smile and you don't get upset about it. So that says a lot about your personality.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people just think that I'm like a huge muscle guy with a like Peter Steele type of guy, but I'm just a small guy from the countryside.
You're just a small guy with a big voice.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm small. That's what I know.
Well, you definitely have a big voice. Like I said, you're one of my favorite vocalists in the world of metal and music in general. I think you have
Thank you.
Just absolutely incredible voice. And I'm going back to that exchange when I said that about you being my absolute metal man crush, because I just love everything you do. Like you could sing the grocery list and I would buy the record. Like that's how good your voice is. And then I didn't want to upset my good friend Thomas, but I'm sure he'll survive by being the second best vocalist coming out of Finland, in my opinion. So I want to thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time and chatting with me. And stay safe and stay healthy. And hopefully we see you guys on the road soon.
Yeah, thank you. And let's hope that the summer will finally come to Canada and Finland.
Yeah, so that we can all go out.
Yeah, cool. All right. Take care, man, and be safe.
Thank you.